Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm just going to be going through some of the Immortals, letting you guys know what I think. Um, let's start. Uh, now, I don't have Bomba or Dragon. They just limit break Dragon. I was very tempted to get him. It looks like he could be pretty good, maybe at 22. But I also don't have Bomba. Um, I don't have Bomba is because even with his treasure maxed, it's very difficult for him to pop. Um, he might pop 3 out of 5 games. It's just too random for me. But if you're going a physical build, he's incredibly strong at 15 or at 12. So let's start. We'll go through physical first. I'm sure most of you know an easy way to tell if a unit is physical or magic is the bar underneath them. So some magic immortals and mythics do physical damage with some of their skills, and some physical immortals and mythics do magic damage with some of their skills, but they're not considered one or the other. What really matters is the bar underneath. It's either orange or it's blue. Blue is magic, orange is physical. It's an easy way to remember it. So support for physical is going to be Otto. I think he's incredibly important for a physical build. I had a lot of people ask me, are Immortals worth it, and at which levels are they worth it? Fair warning, every time I've unlocked an Immortal, I've been able to get him to 12. So I haven't really played with any Immortals at level 6. Not too many anyways, but most Immortals are only okay at level 6 and are great at level 12. It's a huge difference. I'd say it's more important to have one level 12 Immortal than 6 other Immortals unlocked at level 6. So I know it's easier said than done. It can be very expensive or time consuming, especially if you're free to play. But I would really push that after you have, a decent amount, maybe 3 or 4, I'd start focusing in on one Immortal to get to 12 and just do that one at a time. Instead of having 10 Immortals unlocked at level 6 and you're wondering why you can't beat Hell or God, and it's because you don't have any Immortals at 12. Anyways, Otto is very important for physical build. He is the time leap and time gift. Increases ultimate skill damage of allies within range by 25% for 10 seconds. Reduces the remaining cooldown by 30% or 35%. I mean, it's huge. I also have on my Mage Kitty and my Otto, let me show you. I have a rune called Scattershot. It adds 20% range, which is unbelievably good, and minus 12% damage. Well, Otto isn't made for damage. She doesn't do any real damage. So it's literally a rune that's made for him and also Mage Kitty. And it just so happened, I don't use Blob, but I just put him on here just because I ended up getting a 3rd Immortal Scattershot rune. I'm hoping to put it on Orc when Orc Immortal comes out. So if you ever do get Scattershot, there is a mythic rune that is a Scattershot. 100% put it on auto, put it on Mage Kitty, whichever build you're going for. All right, next we'll go to Vayne. Vayne is a boss killer. He's incredibly strong versus bosses, and he's incredibly weak versus mobs. In order to turn him immortal, you have to move regular mythic Vayne over and over and over and over and over and over again. Having his treasure, I would really recommend pushing treasures to 10 at least. I have now 27 or 28 maxed out treasures. Treasures only go to level 11. But having treasures at 10 will drastically drop the time of turning a mythic into an immortal. Vayne is especially one of them where you really need his treasure really high to help. How Vayne works is that he has arrows, and his arrows end up sticking to bosses, and you let it build up. And let's say for Guild Raid, he's really, really good for Guild Raid. You let the arrows stack up for the last boss, and if you play right and have all of, the units you need to have, he can do over 100 million damage in one shot. I do it almost every Guild Raid. He's the most important unit for Guild Raid. He is also good for co-op, for killing bosses. You just need to have a boss stunned where the boss can't move out of range. So Vayne's incredibly good, but I wouldn't focus on him early game, or maybe even mid game, unless you're really trying to go for high Guild Raid scores. I would get other physical immortals before him. All right. Roka. Roka is very good. I'm a big fan of Roka. But like almost all the immortals I'm going to talk about, she really starts to shine at level 12. She is also an immortal that really needs a high exclusive treasure level, or she's going to take absolutely forever to pop. Very strong. She's the only really long-ranged physical immortal. She's great though. Batman. Batman is probably the best physical immortal. She really kind of tied with Ray right now. The only thing is Ray can now go above 15, but 15 Ray compared to 15 Bat is better. Bat has melee and ranged. So you're really going to want to use ranged most of the time. It's still very strong versus bosses, but it's really strong versus mobs. Sorry guys, 1 second. My wife is out and I'm having to take care of the babies. Come on, baby. Okay. So, ranged, you're going to end up wanting for co-op mode. And then melee, you're going to want for Guild Raid. An incredibly powerful immortal. Bat is, before the limit break, he was probably on the top 2 best immortals in the game. Sorry guys, I'm multitasking. I'm not wanting to restart the video. So next physical unit is going to be Penguin. You okay out here? Sorry about that, guys. Grandma's over. So next it's going to be Penguin. Penguin he's an absolutely dope immortal. The only problem is, even with max treasure, which I do have his treasure maxed, he's kind of a nightmare to use, which is a real bummer. In order to turn him immortal, you have to have his flute go off 5 times. It has to hit green. So if you see, and if it hits green, it'll turn whichever unit to a more leveled up unit. Problem is when it hits orange or purple, I mean really even green, he'll end up taking your bandits out early, changing it to something you don't want. He's going to end up changing your mythic units to units that you don't want. So he can really just mess up your field trying to turn him into an immortal. But he adds after you turn him into an immortal, he adds a buff, an incredibly strong buff, to whichever immortal or mythic unit you want to add him to. It's a random buff. After his cooldown fills up, you can end up retrying the buff to try to get a better one. Also, if whichever unit you decide to buff, all the boss's debuffs will not work on that unit you have buffed, which is it's really cool, but it's incredibly hard to get without him messing up your whole field. So it's he's a tough one to use, but he's such a cool unit. I wish I could use him more often. All right, next physical is, well, Chad's not really physical or magic. I think before Limit Break, I think Chad might have been the best immortal in the game. He's like the best support in the game, along with he does an incredible amount of damage. He's just a really well-rounded unit. I would definitely recommend getting him to 12 after you have a couple of other good DPS units in whichever build. And Giga Chad works for both builds, magic and physical. All right, next is Verdi. Evergreen Verdi. I like Verdi. I think she's really strong. But even with max treasure, she takes a while to turn. And on top of that, especially in late game or the type of game I play, every spot really matters. And you're having to save a spot with 3 epic trees, waiting for her to turn immortal. But if you're going a physical build, she's very good. Just know that you really need her max treasure, or at least treasure 10 for her to be worth it, in my opinion. But I think she's dope. Ninja. So with this last update, Ninja can now be limit breaked. I plan on getting him to 22. He was a good unit before the limit break. I think with the limit break, he's going to end up being very good. So with 16 limit break, he now only takes 4 ninjas to turn instead of 3, or instead of 5, which is awesome. That's a really cool thing that they did. So, but with him at level 22, the increased crit damage by 25%, that's ninja is all crit. So the runes I have on him are crit rate. He's now become probably one of the best immortals in the game. All right, and the last physical is good old Ray. I'm a big fan of Ray. I think that you really need him at least at 16. But it's hard for me to compare to early gameplay. I've been in late game play for so long now. I think that most immortals aren't worth it until they hit 12, if not all of them. I think that if you're going to end up playing in God or above, you have to have level 12 immortals, or you're just going to be carried. So, but I think Ray is incredibly strong. I think he's a fun unit to use. Even with max treasure, it's kind of random. He can be kind of hard to pull sometimes. Something I just started doing is that after I've made all of my other physical immortals, when I am going a physical build, I'll make 2 rays, and then after one of them turns immortal, I'll just feed the other one to Chad. So that's all the physical units. Now let's go magic. Well, one more thing for physical. As far as right now, magic is the stronger co-op build. It just has more immortals, and I think it just has better DPS right now. I think that's going to end up changing the more immortals they release and the more limit breaks they release. But as far as right now, because I've made it to invasion wave 80 now 5 times, I've made it to 70 probably 100 plus times, but that's going to magic build. Physical build, they're very strong, but magic build, it's just the support is better. Oh, one more very important thing for a physical build. Orc. Orc is an absolute must for a physical build. Orc 12, Mythic. He does not have an immortal yet. I'm hoping that maybe next mortal that comes out next month could be Orc. I think that would be really cool. But Orc, he's incredibly useful as a physical support. So, but he is useless without his exclusive treasure. He's not worth making without his exclusive treasure. You could have him at 15, and he's not worth making without his exclusive treasure. His treasure increases physical damage taken by curse/stunned enemies by 15% for 3 seconds. And it increases skill activation chance by 5%. So it makes physical damage go way up when you have an orc. So with doing that, he stuns, so he helps stuns. And then on top of that, he adds DF down, def down. I can't remember if it's 20% or by 20. So, which is just kind of the icing on the cake with Orc. But he's a must for physical. All right. Let's start at the top. We got Dr. Pulse. I've been saying for a very long time, I think Pulse is probably the most underrated immortal in the game. Within like the last couple of months, I've had other high-level accounts, high-level players start saying what I've been saying for a long time, and they're now using him a lot more, which is cool. He can be harder to use for early game, is because he eats stuns to make his drones. And it's a lot easier to make units and drones when you have high artifact level without it completely killing your eco. So, but I think he's really worth it for a magic build. But I also think that you really need to have him at 12 for him to be really useful. But again, in my mind, all immortals need to be at 12 for them to be really useful. All right. We didn't do Gravy. Grav is a great unit for stun, of course. He doesn't really do much damage, but you have artifacts that make it where you do a lot more damage to stunned units. So having units stunned is definitely part of the game, especially if you're going to start trying to beat Hell and God and Prime and Invasion. Gravy becomes incredibly useful in the later game modes. So I wouldn't focus on him until you really have some of the other immortals, but he kind of just helps finish out your build towards the end. All right, next is Iron Meow. I think Iron Meow is probably one of the strongest magic immortals. I think having his treasure real high is important, is because it takes luck stones to turn him, and you end up turning him 3 different times. So the first turn you make costs 5, the second turn you make costs 10, and then it can take, with max treasure, it'll take 25 to 30 luck stones to turn. Without max treasure, it's going to take 50 plus luck stones to turn. But he can be incredibly powerful if you have him at level 12. And all right, Boss Bird. I like Bird Raw. I think that he's good against mobs, but I think compared to some of the other magic immortals that are out now, I don't think he's worth it until they limit break him. So he's a cool unit though. Blob. I think the devs did Blob so dirty. He is the worst immortal in the game. He's absolutely not worth making. Whoever you're playing with has to change the way that they play for the first 30 waves, which is, in my opinion, the most important waves, in order to pop him. So, in order to turn him, you need to have his Devourer reach 600. His treasure makes it where when you kill a boss, you get, of course, with max, you get 100 per boss kill, and that's if you kill both bosses, like let's say during wave 10, that's 200. That's with max treasure. But if your teammate ends up killing the boss, even one of the bosses at wave 10 and wave 20, it can just really screw you up. And so you have them trying to move all their units around, trying not to kill the boss while you're trying to stun it. I used it for a couple of months. It's just not worth it. And then after you turn him, the damage just isn't there. So I stopped using him. So maybe one day with Limit Break, they'll do something crazy with him. But as far as right now, he's just not worth using. Okay, Queen Colby. Queen Colby is fun. I honestly don't know anyone else that uses her besides me when I do my magic build. I think Colby Mythic is 100% not worth it. I think that she has her place in Invasion, maybe. But she stuns too far back. So when you're, playing in God and Prime and Invasion, you and your teammate are both trying to stun the same spot where all the mobs build up and bosses in the one area. And Colby will end up stunning all the way back to the start. But Queen, not so much. Queen Colby, I think she's strong. I think she's useful. I like her ult. But to turn her, you have to eat a ton of the blue commons. You have to eat so many of them. So I do have her treasure maxed, and even with that, it takes me a while. So I don't think that she's worth making, and really until you have your other magic immortals set up. I think that's something you can work towards maybe in late game, after you've already really built out your magic build. Chad. Sage Coon. I think Sage Coon is incredibly powerful. I think he's really worth it. I've seen on Reddit a whole lot people saying that they're gonna, reset Coon. It's because Coon can be a real pain in the ass to turn. He just is. Kind of what I've said about Ray. If you really wanted to, you could make 2, and then after one pops, you could feed it to Chad. I'd say most of the time, he pops for me. But of course, I have his treasure maxed. I think that you really need to have his treasure at 10 to make it more likely that he turns. But incredibly strong. I think he's really worth it for magic build. All right, Great Mage Kitty. The most important support for Magic, 100%. 1,000% worth it. Like, he's just a must. I think that you should have multiple Mage Kitties, not just one. I think the more you have, the faster you'll end up getting Immortal Mage Kitty. So 100% Mage Kitty is worth it. And of course, if you're able to get the Scattershot rune, definitely put it on Mage Kitty. I've heard a ton of people complain about Tao, saying that she takes 70 waves to turn, and that is absolutely the case if you don't have high treasure. I think Tao is one of the ones you really need at 10 for her to be useful. You need to have Tao. I put him right up at the start. So where you see Tao is in this picture, I put him really close to that corner. Mythic Tao, and is because they're hitting faster where they're building up. Without my other magic immortals killing the mobs before Tao's able to hit them. So, but you need to build at least one Tao very early, because it's going to end up counting all the Tao's hits. So if you're wanting to make Tao, you need to get it very early. At least one of them. I hope that made sense. I feel like I'm just rambling. I think Tao is a good example of you really, really need to have him at 12 for him to be worth it. I think that Tao is not worth getting if you are not able to get him at 12. At 12, you unlock Ascension. While standing still, Tao's damage dealt increased by 1% every 1 second, which means you don't want to move Tao after you make him. And of course, after he turns immortal, that's not where I would put him. I would put him, of course, towards the back. All right. Probably the most important immortal in the game. The mythic and immortal I make more than any other mythic and immortal is Mama. Mama is incredibly important for every build, every game mode. She's a must. So, having her treasure, out of all the treasures you could get, I would work on hers the most. Having hers at 11 will drastically help you. I think she's incredibly important. On top of that, of her adding the ally attack damage for you and your partner, she does Resurrection, which can help Reaper. So if you have Mama at level, is it 12? Yes. If you have Mama at level 12, instead of having 5 mythics die, you only have to have 3 mythics die before it turns, before she resurrects one. So in Reaper's case, with 3 frogs that fail, you'll end up getting a 4th frog for free. So she's a really good teammate with Reaper. Reaper, probably the strongest magic unit. Incredibly strong, can be very, very hard to make. You really, again, need him at 12. So Reaper Ascension increases by 15%. So that's turning Frog Reaper into Dean. Incredibly worth it. Incredibly strong. On top of that, he now has Limit Break. But if you don't have him at 12, he's really not worth trying to get. He might be the only treasure in my mind that you absolutely don't need. His treasure is kind of useless. Let me show you. 70% chance to refund 1 random material on each fail. and it does increase the ult damage, which is cool. But honestly, I think they added that. I didn't remember the ult damage being increased. So, well, I kind of take it back now. I think his ult damage going up by 25% is huge. So I would still get it. I think they've changed that during one of the last updates. So that's cool. Let's go back. Now Zap. I've talked to a lot of people. A lot of people are hating on Zap. Zap is one of the units you got to get pretty early for her to turn. Even with maxed treasure, she takes about 25 waves to turn. With treasure at level 10, she takes about 28 waves, which isn't too bad. So, but I think that she is not worth getting unless you can really get her to 22. She becomes very powerful after you get her to 22. Before that, I mean, maybe 19 could work. Yeah, 19 is, she's still really powerful at 19. And the last one is Haley. So I just was able to get her to 24 yesterday, or the day before yesterday. I think she's incredibly powerful. Used to, she was the best early game immortal for hell mode and before, but for late game players, she just has become not worth it. That has changed with limit break. So out of the two, I was tempted to really push to 25. It was Dean and her, and I decided to go with her. So I think that she is now an absolute must for a magic build. So, and as far as Bomba goes and Dragon, I think Dragon is a good unit. I just have never made it, so I can't really talk too much on Dragon. I've watched some videos of some Korean players using him in Invasion, so I think that he probably could be worth it in late game, but who knows? Well, because I'm feeling a little lucky, to end out the video, I'm gonna do something crazy. So success rate is at 1% plus 0.9. So this is now my 10th try trying to get her to 25. Come on. Oof. That's what it looks like when it fails. So now it's at 2%. It's cost an crazy amount to try to level them up. Limit break stones, or you get 100 for 20k, and that's 2 tries at really anything above 21. So, but that's what I think about the Immortals. I'm hoping I didn't ramble too much. Sorry if you heard my kids in the background. I'm multitasking. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'll be glad to answer anything. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll try to post more soon. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.